So we would call that, which we was second to the. So just so we're clear too, we're going to hit on all the things that go into this, that go into being the calm within the storm.
Yeah, because you can't just say it, right?
Correct. Of how to actually pull this off. So the next thing is the biggest thing, which is what we are already alluding, but we're going to put words to it now. Is control what you can control. That is a huge one. We could honestly do a whole podcast just on that. Um, that is the biggest thing that I have to overcome or deal with myself as far as letting things get to me because it really irks me for whatever reason. I'm still unpacking that and working through it. Um, when people are consistently bringing stuff to me of things that are outside their control of why they didn't do something or why things can't happen. And I'm just like, man, you have been with me for years and you're still doing that. Like, it's not even, it's less about them and more like I feel like a failure. Like, I feel like, man, I like, I gotta change. Like, I'm doing something wrong here because we're still not being present. We're still not focusing on what's in our control, and we like, I have somehow made you think it was okay to come to me with all of the stuff that are outside your control and not mention anything that's in your control, or that it's a good idea to come to me and just start throwing your teammate under the bus. Not saying that we can't mention stuff that are outside of our control or that we can't bring stuff up or that we can't, because I also, if somebody's not doing their part or they're not being a good teammate, I need to know about that, right? So that's
Yeah.
just so we're clear, not saying that you can't do any of that. But what I am saying is when that's all that's said. And then
When the focus is there.
we didn't segue into, but with that said, these are the things that I can control, and this is what I'm going to focus on, and this is what I should have done, and then gone into that. Okay, because you should acknowledge those things.
Well, they're
You
still
shouldn't
real.
ignore them. They're still valid, right? And then I want to know, what are we doing that's in our control to address those things, to acknowledge those things, to put solutions towards them, to overcome them.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, though, and anybody who uh I have been their leader or they have been in my charge or whatever language you want to put on it. One thing I feel like anybody can say about me is I do not allow people to talk about other people in front of me.
Yeah, that's
I am very good about that, and I immediately tell them, hey, they are not here, and we can get them here, but for right now, until we do get them here, or I will have my own conversations similar to the one that I'm having with you, and I can guarantee you, if they try to bring you up, the same thing that just happened with you is gonna happen to them.
yeah.
We ain't talking about you,
Yeah.
and they ain't gonna be a part of, unless we feel it's necessary, then we will bring them in the room and we will all have a conversation, which I do that often as well. But until that conversation happens, there's no point in talking about that other person, and we're going to address you at this time and what you can control. And as a good leader, I feel like it's also good to lead by example and start off with the things that I could have done differently, or my part in this and what I can do to help them, or what I should have done differently. That way I'm setting the tone, I'm leading by example, and I'm letting them know, hey, this is what we should be doing. And have I always done that? No, I have not. I have forgot to do that, and I have let people down at times, and I have indeed got wrapped up in the moment of the situation and failed to do that. But
But then you get the result.
when I remember to do it, it significantly increases my chances or percentages of getting somebody to follow suit and also take accountability, because accountability is the key. Like, without it, we can't find the truth and we can't get the actual solution that's actually going to move the needle. So we have to start there. And so, but with that, all of that is circling back to controlling what is in our control. But to bring it all together and to keep building on top of each step, the building blocks, the foundational pieces, first, before we try to focus on control what you can control, we need to become the calm within the storm. We have to
Yeah, because you can't even do that.
get out of the energy of the problem first. And then once we're out of that, then we can see clearly and start taking accountability and putting solutions towards what we can actually control.
Right.
And
Which is one thing to hit on there is like if you're the leader and not always, this could be in a home, this could be in a business, this could be in a relationship even where in the moment, it's not established that you're like even with your friends, it's not established that you're a leader, but like there could be a situation where the person's coming in hot, coming in with a whole bunch of it's everyone else's fault. Well, in that situation, if you love them, your goal should be to if you're to serve them, to help them. Well, in that moment, they may need you to lead them, and you may be the one that's first and foremost, let's bring them down, let's get them calm, okay? And then from that, that's in order to do that though, you have to be calm.
yep.
You can't even genuinely help them if you just let them blah 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 about all the things that's out of their control, that's everyone else's fault, that made them have the results that they're having and hurt their life so bad, and you let them do that, I find it very hard to believe that you truly love them because, and you may feel the feeling of love, but once you hear this and once you know there's a process to it and there is a way, you can, and you work at it and you work really hard at it, you can in fact help someone calm down in a loving manner, in a kind way after you've worked on it. It's very difficult at the beginning. We all get this wrong, I think, and I've seen people where I see them trying to do something and they're just really bad at it, and I almost chuckle a little bit because I'm like, I see what you're trying to do, but you need another 100 reps. But I love that you're trying, right? You don't, but once you're able to get someone calm, then you can start to, well, hey Carter, I understand, but Ryan's not here. And I really I wanna help you. I really wanna solve this problem with you. I wanna make myself available to you. And what you're talking about, I care about a lot. But we we need to control what's in our control. But the as from the leader position, if you can't get to a calm state and you're not calm, you're not gonna be able to help someone else get calm. And then if the people are solving problems and they're not calm, then it's really easy to go into the trap of blame someone that's not here or let's talk about things outside of our control. But that's why we talked about them in that sequence because you're calm, you're able to then filter out what's in your control and what's not in your control, right? And then from that point, we can really start getting close to solutions because we're actually, if it's out of your control, what's the point of giving it energy? If it's out, if now sometimes there's vent sessions. I think we've again, this is just a focus, right? This is what we want to be doing more often than we're just venting. If you find yourself having a bunch of vent sessions or you have that friend that you call to vent to, ask yourself how you're helping them. Now, ask yourself how they're helping you, and if they're allowing you to vent to them, um, thank them for that, but also ask yourself, like, hey, how much energy am I taking from them? Like they're letting me do it, and I'm grateful to have them in that, to have someone to call. But at the same time, we need to be accountable to what withdrawals we're taking and what energy we're asking our friends to give us if we're not actually just like focusing on solutions.
Agreed. So I am while you were there was igniting some light bulbs, and so I was writing them down and listening at the same time. But what I got here, so in a thing that you were hitting on, I want to go in a little more to put more emphasis towards it because it's very important is, and I don't think we put enough stock to this because I've heard a lot of people's. This goes back to an episode 1 where I was talking about, so it's me, so people don't feel attacked. So I'm talking about myself. Um, with my relationship, when I really started this whole journey, well, part of it was I asked myself, how can I expect somebody to love me when I don't love myself?
Yeah.
Now, I said that, but I didn't go further on that. I didn't elaborate on that. And what that actually means is, and I don't think we think about this enough, that if we come in hot or we come in angry at somebody, doesn't mean always, but most likely, we're going to get somebody to react the same. They're going to come back with the same energy. They're going to come back hot, right? Now, if we are being mindful and we are, before we went to go have this interaction with them, we meditated on the outcome that we wanted. We meditated on how we wanted this to go, how we wanted it to be received, and what energy we were going to need to be in order to get that result. Now, we have significantly increased our chances of getting the result that we say that we want. Now, if we just went in and we went off the cuff and we didn't even do that step, okay, well, then controlling what we can control, well, then that's one of the things right there out the gate that we could say that we messed up on, that we didn't do that, and we should have done that. Cool. All right. Taking accountability for step 1. And then, okay, just because you did that step, does that mean you're going to execute?
No.
No.
It just means you have a higher probability of
Correct.
executing because you actually have a plan, right?
What increases your chances of actually executing is all the stuff that you do when nobody's looking. All the stuff that you do in your spare time. Did you go to sleep on time? Are you eating healthy? Are you exercising? Are you stretching? Are you reading books? Are you feeding your mind? Are you meditating regularly? And then are you doing all of those things well? Are you doing them at a high level? All of that stacks into whether when you go to execute that you actually execute. So
Right.
if the answer, so you hit step 1, great, congratulations. But step 2, not doing very good on. All of those boxes, you've maybe only checked 3 of them.
Which is totally fine.
No, 100.
Like, that's the piece that gets discouraging. It's a absolutely okay.
It's okay, right? And nobody's saying that what somebody did was wrong, and we get hung up on that, and we hear that that's what I'm saying, but I never said it. If we roll the tape back, we listen to it, Carter never said that. And that's what we internally, the thoughts, we let those invade. We let those take us and derail us. And that's not, because if you actually took the time to sit down and get to know me, you would realize now that we can derail on this as well, but you would realize I do not subscribe, so I do not give energy to it, the right or wrong or good or bad paradigm. I don't subscribe to it. Now, do I think that there are things that you should or shouldn't do, or that, yeah, but I don't, instead of seeing it that way, the way I see it is, what is the outcome that you're looking for? Right?
Yep.
And then that's what determines if it's right or wrong, right? So, I'm not saying that if you're not doing it the way I'm telling you, that you're wrong. What I'm saying is, if you have a way that's going to increase the odds even more than what I'm saying, then I think we should prescribe to that, because it's going to increase the odds of getting us to where